Hey there, what's going on? Welcome to today's upload. It's a little bit different for my FL Studio users, my fellow producers. I just wanted to show you something real quick here. So I just wanted to show how you could do mastering using some of the stock plugins within FL Studios. As you can see, I've already loaded my track here. And what you want to do is to always assign it to the mixer. So I have assigned it at 5. So when you come here at 5, you're going to see it. You see, as we play, you can see it have already reflected at the mixer. So what we want to do now is to go to the plugins. So you can just come to slot 1 and then it will directly take you to the plugins that you have already installed. From there now, I usually like to use Maximus. Is a stock plugin for the FL Studio users. You'll just find it there. And this is what I usually use for mastering. So what is mastering basically? Mastering is just trying to make your track sound uniform, trying to balance and equalize, the highs, the lows, and the mid of your track. And to do that, you kind of have to use some of the plugins. Some of them can be stock and external, but as I've mentioned, I'm already using a stock plugin. So for the Maximus, then when we try to kind of unpack it, so you can start first by isolating the lows, play them independently. So by that, you can now, hear the bass and actually try to see where you kind of want the frequencies, like the frequency of the low, where do you want them to be. So most of the time, I prefer to be at around 100, basically. So, take it to around 100 right there, right? Basically, at a point where you cannot hear the snare a lot, that's it. And then you can always increase or decrease. You can see a thin line here. You can always increase or decrease. That's okay. Now, I always like to put it right here. And then when we come to the mid, so the mid also, we are applying the same principles. So I also want to kind of reduce, but for the mid, we are reducing, we are going to the high, trying to ensure that we are not hearing the hi-hats. Yeah. Yes. So somewhere at around 2.5, 3, I can say, somewhere around there. Yeah, I always leave it like that. The highs are okay because we have already dealt with the MIDI. So we now come to the band here. So we want it to kind of show the lows. So for mastering, what we basically do is try to find the average, you know, try to find the average here, try to see where is the average, and then from there we can come to our track here, mark it, and then try to reduce a little bit. So what this will do, as you can see, it will compress those distortions that happens within the law, and you can apply the same principles for the MIDI. uh, just find the average point, as you can see is here, keep it there, and then kind of cut it a little bit, just reduce it a little bit. uh, and what will tell you that the compression is working, you will already see some of the variation there. Yeah, so basically that's how we do it. And to see what you are left with, as you can see, we have a purple thing here. You can just click it and it will turn green. So this is what we have left, right? The highs, I always like to kind of keep it unless I played a lot of hi-hats, but I always like to keep it the same way. So that's it, guys. And then now, obviously, there's a lot of other procedures that you'll have to go through. You always want your peaks to be below zero, right? To be below zero. So you see, you can see there, we can increase a little bit there. Once you come to your track here, you'll realize you'll kind of need to take into consideration the fact that it should not exceed 0 dB. because by that then it's gonna kind of be distorted. You're not gonna have that feel. It's gonna be distorted when it's played in bigger systems like speakers and stuff like that. So to just be on safety line, you can go to Fruity Limiter, come to cell here and just remove a little bit right there, right? Remove the attack and the release so we can have an immediate effect on it. And yeah, once you play, you can see already that we have everything below zero, which is good.
Don't take it off.
Yes, and if you want to add the volume for that, there is always a plugin called Fruity Soft Clippers. You can always kind of increase and adjust your volumes here, but just make sure that it doesn't kind of exceed zero there. So that's just the basics, basically. Like that's how we start. Remember that we went through the lows, the median, the high. We dissociated the track and kind of try to remove some of the harsh frequencies that were there. Some producers will also have an EQ added, right? You could add some EQs maybe and basically just cut some frequencies, right? Maybe some harsh frequencies, but this track is pretty light, so I don't need to apply my EQs on this particular track. It was already well mixed, so it was more of just balancing the thing. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like the tutorials, give this video a thumbs up and let me know what you want to see in the future video. And if you're new, subscribe. We got a lot of contents coming soon, so yeah, just stay tuned and subscribe to this channel.